Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa Allah. Ashhadu an la أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على حي على الفلاح. حي على الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
Before we begin, if I can just ask everyone to move up, please. Jazakallah khair. It is winter break, so a lot of the youth, my friends, are here, so please fill in any gaps. إن الحمد لله نحمده تعالى ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبد الله ورسوله أرسله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله وكفى بالله شهيدا فصلوات الله وسلامه عليه. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد. Who are you? Who are you? I believe most of us answer that question by saying, my name is so-and-so, my roots or origins, our family comes from this country. You know, you might add, I am a Muslim. But the Quran answers this question in a different way. Number one, you are a human being. What does that mean? You, as a human being, were created in a unique way. First of all, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent an angel to gather dirt from this earth, from all over. and those who know a little bit about agriculture, about farming, dirts in certain areas differ. So some are very soft, they're very fertile. Others are not so fertile. And in the Arabic language, they call some of them are easy dirt, some is hard dirt, some is so and so. And from this, the various personalities come out from human beings. And then this angel took back the dirt that's mixed, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mixed water with it in some way, and it became clay. And then He Himself, subhanahu wa ta'ala, with His two hands, He formed the human being. And contrary to every other species, the human being was created by Allah directly. But still it was dirt. It was some sort of shape, some sort of sculpture that was dirt. It had no value. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes the creation of human beings, He says, طين من صلصال حمأ مسنون. Right? It was dirt. Adam was dirt. That's it. It had no value. The Quran doesn't really give it much value. But what comes right after? فَنَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blew a soul into it through Jibreel alayhi salam. Commanded Jibreel to blow a soul into Adam. And what came right after that? فَقَعُوا لَهُ سَاجِدِينَ فَسَجَدَ الْمَلَائِكَةُ كُلُّهُمْ أَجْمَعُونَ. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded the angels to bow, to prostrate to Adam out of respect. So, pre-soul, humans were of no value. But after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blew the soul into it, it gave him value to the point where He told His angels to prostrate to him. So you as human beings, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has favored you over the rest of the creation. Why? Because you were directly created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So as human beings, we have value. But that value comes from Allah. So the more you are attached to Allah, the more you know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the more you as an individual are ascribed to Allah, the more value you have. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praises the children of Adam, human beings, by saying, إِنَّا عَرَضْنَا الْأَمَانَةَ عَلَى السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَالْجِبَالِ فَأَبَيْنَ أَنْ يَحْمِلْنَهَا وَأَشْفَقْنَ مِنْهَا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, we have presented the amana, religious responsibility, to the heavens, to the earth, and to the mountains, but they refused to accept it. And it was a burden upon them. They rejected it. They knew they couldn't handle the responsibilities of religion. So the universe in its vastness, the earth in its beauty, and the mountains in its strength were not up for the task. فَحَمَلَهَا الْإِنسَانِ. But human beings were. Now most of us, most of the times when we hear this verse explained, it's explained in a negative way. That human beings were ignorant, so they accepted it. They took it lightly. But I have a different way of looking at it. Rather, it's a praise to human beings that they are able to bear the responsibilities of religion, even though these huge creations in its strength, beauty, and vastness were not. And this gives us the second level of value. So you are valuable as human beings, but you gain more value when you accept and fully apply religious responsibility. So between human beings, in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a Muslim has value because they are a Muslim. Because they accepted this amana, this trust, religious responsibility. So even though us as human beings, in comparison to the universe, are a speck, we are tiny, but to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are of great value. More value than the heavens, more value than the earth, and more value than the mountains, because of this aspect. So you have value, but your value is conditional to the responsibility which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you. But today, us Muslims living in America have lost that sense of value. And because of that, a lot of Muslims especially the youth, feel that they have to compromise their theology. Now I'm talking about religion. I'm not talking about social values. I'm not talking about political and nationalistic values. I'm talking about theology, right? So a lot of Muslims now want to compromise certain aspects of their religion so they can fit in. And this is dangerous. And I was having a discussion with a rabbi a few weeks ago, and he said, before the events of Nazi Germany, before the Holocaust and the atrocities that happened to the Jewish population, he said that a portion of Jews were trying to fit in. They were trying to become more like Germans. And that was disastrous. And even when you look at the histories of African Americans here in America, they had something similar. And minorities tend to go through this. They want to fit in. But that's always disastrous. The results are negative. But it was when Dr. King and Malcolm X came and said, no, be independent. Have your own culture. They found success. And it was when the Jews left that ideology of following, said, no, we are independent, they found success. And it's upon us Muslims to be independent. And that's my topic today. But in order to feel independent, you need to recognize your value. The value which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you. The legacy which you lead as a Muslim, and your you don't need anything else. What you need to be valuable, to be productive, to be a good person, is in the Quran. You don't need to look outside. I'm talking about theology and religion here. Okay? I'm not talking about going to schools and politics and whatnot. I'm talking about something specific. And in this, I want to share with you the last verse of Surah Al-Hajj, in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَجَاهِدُوا فِي اللَّهِ حَقَّ جِهَادٍ. Strive for the sake of Allah. Strive in the way of Allah, the way it's befitting of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The way He deserves. Meaning, put that effort there. And we don't do this. Muslims in America are rich. We have wealth. We have education. We are in politics. And as some activists said after the election, the nomination of our current administration, they said, we had people in the Obama administration, but that didn't benefit us. It did not benefit us because on the local level, we are not known. When a Muslim passes by, it's a question mark. Who are they? When a woman in hijab walks around, they look at her, not in disgust, but in curiosity. Why is she wearing that? Why don't they know? That's what I'm asking. We've been here for 50, 60 years. How come it's not known? Why are we still afraid to pray in public? Right? Why are people still questioning? What are they doing? They don't know yet. Because we are lazy. We have not put the efforts in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us to put. Every single one of us needs to have some sort of effort in their respected profession. So if you are a student, use your knowledge, whatever major you are majoring in, and add Islam to it. When you write a paper, add a Islamic topic to it. And you'll find some very, very interesting topics. If you are studying law, compare the system of politics in the West, in America, to the classical Sharia interpretation of politics. And you know what? You'll find some pretty interesting things. Or if you want to be a little bit more specific, study a comparison between religious freedoms in Muslim countries, I'm talking about classical Muslim countries, and current Western nation states. And you'll find that Islamic countries had more religious freedoms than nation states of today. And there's reason for that, because the structure of Islamic Sharia allowed that. Beautiful topics. If you study psychology, study the theory of attachment, and how this theory can be used in understanding our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to further our connection with Allah, to make it more positive. If you're studying sociology, study the works of Ibn Khaldun, who some consider to be the first modern sociologist. If you are studying math, look at Islam's contributions to algebra. Right? Don't just leave Islam on the side. We just pray 5 times a day in the masjid. That's great. But there's an entire world out there, and you're responsible. You are responsible for giving da'wah. And the story goes that an individual in Britain went to some Muslims, and he said, you guys are unjust. You guys are unjust. You guys are unjust. And he's crying. He said, why are we unjust? We don't know you. He said, my parents died. I accepted Islam. But my parents died as non-Muslims because they never met you. Where were you? So us as Muslims, we lack in this. Our legacy is to strive for the sake of Allah. And you don't have to put 100%. Not everyone can. We need doctors, we need engineers, we need lawyers, and so on and so forth. But use some of that which Allah gave you for the sake of Islam. If you are rich, spend some of your money. Open an institution. Support institutions. You have a lot of influence. If you are a lawyer, have some interaction with CARE. If you are a psychologist, research about Islamic contributions or how Islam can benefit the 21st century. Or have some youth work. Tell us, come to us imams. We would love to hear how we can improve our khutbahs, how we can improve our relationship with our youth, and so on and so forth. So strive for the sake of Allah the way He is deserving. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says why we should strive. Because هُوَ اجْتَبَاكُمْ وَمَا جَعَلَ عَلَيْكُمْ فِي الدِّينِ مِنْ حَرَجٍ. We should strive for the sake of Allah because He chose you. You are not Muslim out of randomness. Allah is the All-Wise. He chooses who to be a Muslim. And He chooses based on the individual's heart. Right? It's not a random choice. It's not, okay, this is something I've been forced into. Yes, some of us are born Muslim, and some of us are converts. But know that the tawfiq, the tawfiq from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He gave you to come to Salat al-Jum'ah, it's not random. It means you have good in your heart. So strive in that cause. And remember that Allah chose you, and He chose you for a reason. So fulfill that. Honor that. And know that coming to Jum'ah, even though you might not pray 5 times a day, even though you might be doing major sin, you still have a relationship with Allah because you came here. You still have good in your heart because you came here. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to further that by striving the way you should strive for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He chose you, and not only that, He cleared the road for you. وَمَا جَعَلَ عَلَيْكُمْ فِي الدِّينِ مِنْ حَرَجٍ. He made no hardship in religion. Some religions are very, very strict to the point where it literally ties the individual from succeeding. And we know what happened in medieval Europe in science. When the church was strong, knowledge was weak. Science was weak. But Islam isn't like that. When piety is high, knowledge is high as well. And look at history. It's only when Muslims left their religion, they stopped taking it seriously, did our knowledge and institutions go down. So the question which was asked during the times of colonialism and post-colonialism, what happened, meaning to the Muslims, is very clear. We forgot our values. We forgot who we are. We started following something else. And I don't say that out of saying that they're lesser than us. That's not the case. But imitation is cheap. Imitation is weak. Because when you imitate, you don't understand the value of what you are imitating. You don't understand the reality of what you're imitating. Be successful and be successful as an independent person. And all successful people have this personality of independence. And I don't mean by independence isolationism. I don't mean you isolate yourself in your masjid and you make a little bubble and then we have nothing to do with it. That's not what I mean. I mean independent, that when you are in society, you make choices based on your own values, not based on pressure. When you are conflicted between two options, one is Islamic, one is non-Islamic, you say, I'm going to choose the Islamic one, because that's who I am, that gives me value. So strive for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the way He deserves. And remember that He chose you to be Muslim. And He cleared the road for you to be successful. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, مِلَّةَ أَبِيكُمْ إِبْرَاهِيمُ هُوَ سَمَّاكُمُ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. The religion of Ibrahim, the religion of monotheism, the one that every prophet came and preached. But Ibrahim's, he was more successful, if you will. He shined between the prophets. No other prophet passed him in monotheism except our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this is the legacy of Ibrahim. He is the one who called you Muslims. So when we say we are Muslims, it's not just a name. It's not just a religion. Rather, it is a legacy that goes back to Ibrahim alayhi salam, one of the most revered individuals on earth. How many Jews, Christians, and Muslims are there in the world? How much? 70% of the world? All of us revere Ibrahim alayhi salam. So know that your religion didn't start off with Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. It started off with Adam. And it went to Noah. And it went to Ibrahim alayhi salam, who shined. And teach your kids the story of Ibrahim. Because your kids, your youth on Netflix now are watching Marvel sitcoms, Marvel shows, and DC comics, right? The Flash and the Arrow and Legends and all these shows, which are really cool for them, right? But it's always about this individual who gains some sort of superpower, and with that superpower comes a lot of responsibility. And the show is about how he tackles these responsibilities, how he improves himself, he or she improves themselves. And they are faced with challenges, and they overcome those challenges. Look at Ibrahim alayhi salam. He was a superhero. At the age of his late teens, he challenged his entire people to monotheism. And we know the stories of Ibrahim alayhi salam and what he went through. And he was challenged by Nimrud, a tyrannical king. And he was challenged by the king of Egypt of his time. And he overcame. And throughout his life, challenges after challenges. But no matter how much he was faced with, he always kept his values. And by the way, this is one of the points which a lot of these superhero shows focus on. That a superhero never leaves his values or her values. They never kill. So Batman, Superman, and the Flash, and all these guys, they never kill because it's their value. Even though sometimes they're tempted to. They say, no, if I change my values, it will ruin who I am. So Ibrahim alayhi salam is a superhero based on our standards of today. So teach his legacy and know that you are attached to Ibrahim alayhi salam. This is what Islam gives you. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. So he named you Muslimin. ليكون الرسول شهيدا عليكم وتكونوا شهداء على الناس. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is a witness over you, and you as Muslims are witness in terms of religion over others. Meaning you are independent, and this is one of the focuses of Islam, the Quran and the Sunnah, that it made us independent from other religions. We face Mecca. We are the only religion who faces Mecca, so that we are known to be independent in our theology. The Prophet ﷺ kept telling us, change different things. Don't be like non-Muslims. Again, this isn't a way of a condescending view of others, but rather to say that we are independent. We have our own theology. We trust our theology. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala concludes the verse by saying, فَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةِ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةِ وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِاللَّهِ هُوَ مَوْلَاكُمْ. So establish your prayers and give zakah and hold firm to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is the one who protects you. He is the one who overlooks you. So if you want to be independent, then start with praying your 5 prayers and giving your zakah, Start with that and hold firm to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because whoever holds firm to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, فَقَدْ اسْتَمْسَكَ بِالْعُرْوَةِ الْوُثْقَى. They have grasped on the firm rope, that if you grasp onto it, you are protected, you are strong. Nothing will affect you. Nothing will break you. So hold on. فَنِعْمَ الْمَوْلَى وَنِعْمَ النَّصِيرُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the best one who takes care of your affairs, and He is the strongest one in terms of protecting you. We will conclude with that today. My brothers and sisters, we have a janazah prayer immediately after Jum'ah prayer, so please stay. The one who prays janazah prayer gets the reward of the size of Uhud. This is a great reward. And if you continue and go to the funeral, the burial, you get another reward of Uhud. So you get 2 sizes of Uhud reward. One for praying and one for going to the janazah prayer, or the burial, So we'll pray immediately after. Make dua for Dr. Muhammad Ahmed Amir, who will be praying on, and as well, who is the husband of Sister Muna Ibrahim. She used to teach at our school. And the burial will be at El Toro Memorial Park immediately after. Families accepting condolences tonight at 6 p.m. at the masjid here. Also pray for Dr. Ahmed Salama and brother Ahmed Wali Azami, who both passed away. So 3 people passed away. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive their sins, to overlook their shortcomings, and to make their grave a paradise and to protect them from any hardships. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant their family patience. Also make dua for brother Farhan Kamdal and brother Raouf Gajiani, who are both sick. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give them a speedy recovery. Please donate to the masjid. Remember to give your end of the year gift donations, which are tax deductible. So please help us out, help our efforts by donating. OCIF's blood drives on Sunday, January 7th. Please sign up at redcross.org using the code OCIF. Today there won't be any youth groups, no Quran or, no Friday youth group, no My OC tonight. The My OC family hiking trip is coming up on Saturday, January 6th at 7 a.m. at Ronald Casper's Wilderness Park. This is open to the community, but it's sponsored by the youth. A new Aqidah class, a theology class for women, in English on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. and in Arabic on Wednesdays at 11:30 a.m. These are really cool classes, so encourage your wives or the sisters who are listening, please come. They are very interesting. Starting next month on January 18th at 6 p.m. I will be giving a monthly lecture, if you will, a monthly community meeting in which I will discuss various issues. They will be the third Thursday of each month. Times will differ based on the times of prayer. Inshallah, the first one will be on Thursday, January 18th, talking about issues facing your youth. And the first one will talk about peer pressure in terms of drugs, dating, and leaving Islam. Please join us, and we will announce this throughout the month. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات إنك سميع قريب مجيب الدعوات يا رب العالمين. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وأقم الصلاة.